Cool. So just while you do that, big shout out to Besmir, who's tuning in live. Neil, tuning in live on YouTube as well. Great minds think alike with that currency pair, because he also requested CAD yen. So
okay, well then that kind of makes it easier then. So we're going to go with CAD yen. We like to please the people.
We try our
best. Let's look at CAD yen. Hopefully, I'm going to come up with a nice trade idea, and it'll be good to see how it compares to what they were thinking. Right. Okay. So CAD yen it is. Let's begin and have a look. So I'm going to look at the weekly chart to begin with. A quick zoom out. Just want to I always like to get a bit of a feel for what's gone on in the past. So you can see here, really, this market is pretty rangy. Okay. Not a lot of data, I've got to say here. 2006. Is that the same as what you guys can see? Ideally, we have a bit more, but let me have a look at the... Yeah, this one goes 2002. So, well, I mean, you could really see it's just kind of stayed in this range. I'll just draw it out here because if I've got more data, but just so you see what... This is what the CAD yen is doing. It's really not changed for 20 years. I mean, in general, the majority of the time it spends here, doesn't it? Right? And like you can see, like, of course, there's times where it's gone out of that, but generally speaking, the CAD yen spends most of its time in this block. And if you have a look at what's happened, we've recently gone up to resistance, held there, and now we're pushing back up. And if you look at what's happened in the past, you can see here, it went to resistance, went down, pushed back up to resistance, and then eventually went down to this support area. And if we zoom out, let's see what else has happened. So here, this one just kind of went a little bit above it and then eventually went down to support. So right now, just kind of as a first glance, my view is that we should be kind of getting ready to push down overall. It's just a question of timing if you're looking at the long-term picture. Let me just have a look. Now I'm going to go back to MT4. Now that I've got that picture, here's our daily chart. Okay, so we'll just we'll mark that down like that. Let's get that. I could even just use our indicator. That might be a bit easier, but I'm just going to do this one by hand. Okay. Be good to get their thoughts, Gav, as well. Like if they spotted that as well, the guys that have looked at CAD yen before, that's the way it moves. So this is what we're doing right now on this chart. Let's have a little look at the way this chart likes to move. So we've got this kind of channel, don't we? And we're coming up to that channel right now. I do like this kind of like a double, like as a short-term play, there's like a double channel resistance coming up here, if you see that. So right here, this little section here looks like a short-term trading opportunity coming up. So around that sort of 88.15 could be a good short. And then what if we do clear that, then I'd be looking for this to go test back up here. But I'd expect a reaction here, especially because we've got a double channel there. So somewhere around 88.15, looks interesting. Let me zoom out and we'll just do a couple more things here. So this is our up trend line. And then we've got this next trend line here. And that was the aggressive trend line that broke. We don't need to draw it in. So if we break through here, guys, this is the kind of thing that I'd kind of plan for. There's two setups here. Well, maybe three even. So let's bring in our pen. So first thing I'm going to look for is there a short somewhere here? And then if we break through here, so maybe we get a short scalp, we take some money, we take our profit, and then the market breaks through. Where does it go? It will probably go to this trend line here and pull back like that. And then this becomes a potential short-term buy. And then I think that's the kind of thing that we might expect to see. And then probably lower. So let's go into the lower time frames and figure out roughly where we have to look to get that trade for the first one right now. So just going to bring in CAD, yen, lower time. So let's do the 4-hour time frame. Hope everybody's following. So I'm going to now, so I know around 88.15 is a possible, and that's approximate, right? That could be roughly a good short somewhere there. Let's, you can see actually it's quite, look at that, really nice reactive line there as well.
Mm.
So I think it's definitely a good potential short-term idea. Look, we'll take that little line there. Let's project it over here. We've gone through that, and then we'll project it from up here as well. And that will be your next target there. So you could put an alert on this line. Let's add in our DTR, guys, and see where that's coming in as well. We'll fit it to this market. Looks quite rangy, so the DTR should be quite accurate. I don't think that. Let's zoom in and see if it needs. Let's definitely get it to candles. Let's have a look. So the daily trading range indicator will predict the likely high and low of the day. What you can do is you can just fit it to the market so that you just get a better fit. So the more data that fits within here, the better the likelihood is of your trade working. Now, with a 1.3 multiple, that kind of takes you up there, which is around 88.17. And I'm gonna do another thing here. I'm gonna see what the Fibonacci is telling me. Let's bring in our script. Beautiful. I heard a little murmuring from Gavin. He knows what he sees. We have the Fibonacci predicting that the high of this swing is going to be exactly the same area that we're looking to short, around 88.23.5. That really is a great confluence. And the market has pulled back to its 38, which is the minimum expected pullback, sort of 90% of the time. For me, this makes this trade a really high probability setup that we're going to get a really nice opportunity to short this around here. I just want to stress, I would do this as a short-term trade idea. So a couple of things. if you're going to short this, you might be thinking, well, where would I put my stop? Well, one thing that you could do is, if you have a look here, right, if this is going to be a day trade, or let's say you fade it and you pretty much want to get your profits on the same day or the next day at the latest. If you notice over here, our indicator got, it went above that sort of high, right, our predicted high on this occasion. This one, it was fine, and even on this occasion. So what I like to do is I like to basically fit this to the market, so that if I did short it here, I want this to be above the previous violated price action. So if I just kind of do this, and you'll see what I mean. So now I could even do it 1.7. I'll show you 1 second. Let's do 1.7. You'll see what I mean. Right now, if you use the 1.7, you can see that, let's say you short this today here. Well, you can say with confidence, since the 19th of August, we've never gone above this red line. Can you see that? I mean, give or take there, touch there, right? So if you went short here, you could go with a stop right there, risking that much. And if you really wanted to, you could just make this really simple and just do a 1-to-1. I'd probably try and get a little bit more, like, let's see, or the minimum kind of target is there, really. Like, that's the old resistance becoming support. You could do this as a 1-to-1, quick profit, quick 1% and out. For others, you could use this, keep your stop there, and then see if you can catch maybe a move back down to, let's say, here. Or you could use the Fibonacci and do something like here to here. Where's the 618? So the 618 comes in about there. So 87.44-ish would be like your kind of middle ground target. But for those that like it really simple, hit, bang, out, that's what you do. That should be a really, the thing with a 1-to-1 there, there's no kind, you're kind of getting in and getting out without any kind of resistance, if that makes sense. So that if you go for a target below here, for example, well, the market's got to take it, so it might go there, and then the buyers come in and say, oh, look, this isn't an uptrend, there's an old resistance there that becomes support, and the buyers come in, and maybe the sellers overpower it, and eventually it goes down to your target. So there's a little bit of a battle going on. Whereas for somebody that just wants a quick gain, that could be like a bang, bang, out, done. But either way, guys, however you manage your trade, short term, if we get there today, I like a short between 88.70 and 88.23. And then the long term is, and look, you've got this kind of, just to remind you, double confluence here. Long term, it could hold here and start to push lower, of course. And that's the other thing as well. Some people might look at this and think, well, shouldn't I go for the bottom of the channel? You certainly can. I mean, that would turn into like a 10, 12-to-1 trade. But what might happen is the market might do this, come down, and then it breaks up, and then you end up with a loss. But there are some traders that don't mind that, because they might say, well, look, I'm going to risk 1% with a really nice tight stop, but I'm going to hold this and see if I can get it down to that channel. And if it does work, I've made 10% and I've done my month.
And that is how we roll, guys. 15 minutes to find a low risk, high probability FX trade. Drop the mic, Mr. Demi. You have done it again for another week. Actually, don't drop the mic, because we want you to do that rap that you posted in the Facebook group. Oh, we're going to get you on that one. We are gonna get you on that one, mate. So look, that was the promise. We have delivered again. Yeah, that's it. We're pretty much done.